Well, of course, it's big news at the moment about the merger of two schools. Scoill Vallajeelt is where we are now. Of course, St Thomas's is the one that's in question. And in this interview, we got plenty of pictures to show you of down there and up here. Graham, of course, well, 5 years on since we did chats about other schools. I mean, that's your thing. You are the man behind the organisation.
I'm the States Director, so clearly I'm constantly looking at the quality of our educational stock, and hopefully what you've seen down at St Thomas's compared to the up here, the contrast between the two just highlights the reason for our proposed move.
We'll come more to that in a minute.
Yeah.
You've got to sell this, of course, as such.
And I think when you go down to St Thomas's and then you come up here, it sells itself because the education environment up here is so much better than it is down at St Thomas's.
Yeah, there has been resistance, to say the least. There's been quite a concerted campaign of people, parents particularly, I suppose, who don't like the idea of this, especially the faith issue, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think what they're worried about is the co-location. They think it's a segregation, but I would say it's not a segregation issue because, you know, they will be having shared areas here. I would say it's more segregation having them in another school, but, you know, when they go to secondary school, they'll all be mixing together. Children, I don't think, they don't mind who's going and who they're playing with.
But it will be two schools in one. I mean, literally, this area will be for St Thomas's.
Yes.
And I mean, I know there's shared areas, but you can have two different entrances. I mean, you're working on literally having, they can't walk in the same door or such. It will be divided to some degree.
That's right. We're talking about obviously maintaining the Scoill Vallajeelt entrance where it is, but there's a separate access way that we can create to the side of that, so that the school does indeed have its own identity and an admin office, somewhere where the parents for the St Thomas's children can come to rather than going through the Vallajeelt entrance.
I'm slightly puzzled because in a minute the school is using this area, they're going to be told they can't use it. Isn't that going to put pressure on the original school to you know, when they vacate?
No, I think when you look around the school, you know, the capacity here is for 350. There's currently around about 190. Come September, it'll be around about 200. So you've still got lots of capacity in the school, and they've just grown into using the areas. So they've just grown into using it.
So it's declined, but you put an extension on here only a few years ago. So
back in 2005, you know, clearly then there was a high roll, and you know, there was this area had been recently developed. There was young families in the area. There was a lot of kids coming through the school, but clearly that demographic has changed such that now there are older families within these properties, and so we haven't got the role that we once had.
It's been fortunate, I suppose, in that.
It's created this opportunity. Yes.
Okay. Some parents don't want to move their children, I believe. Is that correct?
I think there's some have concerns about moving school, and I think we've got about 10 children who've gone to other schools for whatever reason. But I think from some of the parents who've been up here, the feedback we've had from the parents who've been up here from St Thomas's has been quite positive once they see the environment up here.
Have you got to sell it, or do you just do this now?
Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to work with the parents to say, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. This is 60 children coming up here to have an education. And that's what this is all about, is trying to give our children the best education that we can. And when you look at the environment at St Thomas's, Paul, you have to admit, it's not one of the best environments for...
I'm surprised it's actually passed any sort of test, Richard. I mean, because you showed us around there, and I mean, disabled access is zilch.
Yes.
You've got squeezed in like
multi-levels. You know, you've only got 2 classrooms within the main school building.
And
the other half of the school is out in mobile classrooms on a shop roof. Yeah, on every level, there's issues.
So would it not? I mean, I thought disabilities, and all that sort of thing, and this has to be accessible. So if nothing else, surely this has failed the test some years ago, hasn't it? As a working place.
I would say that we've grasped the nettle, and we've decided that we're going to do something about this now, because we're utilising facilities that we've got now. You know, there's been some comment that we should build another school, but for St Thomas's, that's not good use of taxpayers' money. We've got these facilities here. You know, it's a fantastic environment. You walk around this school here, they've got open playing fields, they've got plenty of areas.
Is it a done deal then? Is this from September this will happen, or when? What's the timescale?
We've got till September next year. We're going to work. Yeah, we're going to work with the parents to try and allay some of their fears. I think it's just there's a bit of change coming along, and people are saying, like you said, you know, they've been utilising this area here, but it doesn't mean that their environment is going to be any worse.
What about the faith issue and you know, being all that? Will there be a sort of a church service going on in one part and a multi-faith service somewhere else, or what?
No, I think what we have is that there's a certain part of their education that St Thomas's do which will be around the faith, but generally it's along the same lines on the curriculum.
And this thing that was dug up, that the C of E, the Church of England, hadn't been contributing particularly a lot to the old school, does that raise any issues?
Well, we've got the same with the St Mary's as Roman Catholic. They are state-maintained schools.
But they have a faith thing about it. But
yes. So you know, there are schools and they run a faith element out of it.
So great shots. I mean, you can see the damp in those rooms at St. I mean, it's always been amazed that it's on top of a car park anyway, to a lot of people, I suppose. But is it location for some of those people? That's why they like it, where it is?
I think so. You know, a number of people, it's because they've had siblings there before, and it's been handy for a number of people. And it's a Church of England school. I think when they come up here, they'll see this is a far better environment. The children will have bigger play areas. They've got a sports hall, an indoor sports hall here, right. And of course you can actually have hot food here as well.
Oh, because they pack lunches or something.
Yes.
Down there. Okay. So, again, done deal, or you say consultation? But done deal.
We're discussing it with the parents, and hopefully I want us to be able to work with the parents to make this happen.